what a quilting retreat really can and should be. It just gives you such a good feeling. That's what retreats do. Hi everyone, it's Mary from Joyful and Mary Quilting, and today I have just a really exciting quilting tip kind of for everybody here. I am actually in Raymore, Missouri. Patty Gregory, our national president for Project Linus, and I have been doing some Project Linus stuff, but Kourtney here has a quilt shop that I absolutely want to share with you. Not just because it's a quilt shop, but because she has a podcast along with Patty, and she also has a morning show in her quilt shop. And the whole purpose of what I wanted to talk about, there's two purposes actually. First of all is Kourtney's show that she does with her quilt shop. She walks you through every morning her shop. And if you are not in an area where there is a local quilt shop, or you just want to see what's available, it's so much fun every morning to tune in on Facebook. So that's one point.
Thanks.
And then the other point is she has this whole section, in addition to her quilt shop that we'll show you in a bit, of her barn. You're calling it the barn. And it's a retreat center. And I get questions all the time from people that will either respond to my videos or send me emails asking me, do you have a retreat that you recommend? Can you tell me what a retreat is? Many times, retreats are fairly new. I mean, to a lot of people, new quilters, they don't realize that there are actual quilting retreats where you can go and just do your thing. So I'm going to ask a few questions. Kourtney and Patty have, actually Kourtney has one tomorrow that starts tomorrow.
It's a 2-day,
A 2-day workshop, and you have not seen this room, but it is so inviting. And when you go in, the table space and everything that you can have to quilt for 2 days is all right here. That's the beauty of a quilt retreat, is that you can go somewhere and you can actually get involved with other quilters, participate whatever the theme is of the particular retreat, and have a great time in the process. So I've got some questions, got them written down because I don't have my teleprompter here, and I'm just going to ask straight off the list what we have here, and we'll see what it's all about. But I know that you're going to be interested in what they have to say and what they've done in the past. So I'm excited to share it with you. First of all, Kourtney, tell us just a little bit about yourself and how the Quilting Cow came to be.
So we're actually a franchise. We're the very first franchise of what we call the Big Cow out of Branson. And this was kind of a lovely accident, is what I would call it. I started quilting in 2020 with my mom after my brother passed away, and it was kind of my therapeutic thing, like we talked about. Yeah. I think I made 86 quilts in that year because I was just kind of addicted. And I learned a lot as I went, but jokingly, I had told the owner of the Quilted Cow, I'm like, hey, if you ever want to franchise this, I'm in. And so she launched it, but we were trying to find something where we could connect with the community. So we looked at a coffee shop, we looked at all sorts of different things. David, my husband, was like, we should open a gym. I'm like, I don't sweat. So I was like,
we don't want to do that.
I don't want that. I glisten. So we came across this idea of a quilt shop. And we opened it up so we could have community, we'd have connection. Our motto is encourage one another and build each other up. And how can we help people be obscenely, obnoxiously generous? And so that's why we opened the quilt shop.
And this is what quilting is all about. And I just am so impressed with, I listened to Kourtney speak at Project Linus Retreat last year, and I was just so impressed with that philosophy. And you were pretty new right then. I mean,
we were barely a baby.
Yeah, you were just getting going, and it was still very enticing and very inviting. And I think the people there really felt that emotion from you. So I was really, and of course my first thing was, does this hit you by surprise? Well, obviously it kind of did.
It did.
Just from what you had. But tell me every quilt shop has its own personality.
Yeah.
And I know what in my mind I know what it is, but I want you to tell, what's the personality of your shop and you?
We're pretty friendly and laid back. Our mottos are, like done is better than perfect. I would love for the person that doesn't know how to quilt to walk in the door and learn how to sew 2 pieces of fabric together and be satisfied with that. I would love for the person that's a great quilter to come in the door and be able to get the things they need so that they can make a great quilt. We're not a huge shop. We're only 1,700 square feet of shoppable space, so it's not a big shop, but we try to cater pretty much across the board to the beginner and the not beginner. But our real focus is, how do we create community? How do we allow shoppers to walk in the door and be like, oh, I know you. I always think it's funny, people get nicknames on our show. So if you've heard me say Zaj or Jerry or Melissa is our bag maker, and they'll walk in the door and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you're Zaj. And they're almost like they're famous, and they come in and they get to be friends. And that's my thing. It's like coming in my house. And if you walk in the shop it may not have everything perfect. We're not that shop. Like, it might not have the best displays. I would love to be that person.
It's
but we're
really
not.
nice. And let me tell you, walking in, I did feel like it was a beautiful shop. So don't listen to that. That's not true. It really is beautiful. And I found 3 different products that I immediately pulled off the shelf that I needed.
Well, that's great. You're an experienced quilter. And
but there's a lot there, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking. It's a welcoming place. When we walked in, you're starting a shop hop right now.
Oh gosh.
And
shop crawl.
Yeah, so it was busy. I mean, it was busy here, and so Kourtney's taking this time to share with us, but it was really busy. Show off your shirt.
Oh, our shirt is, so the shirt has a funny story, you know.
Okay, tell it.
The shirt is, you love fabric, we should be best friends. So I moved to a new neighborhood, and as I was driving out of the neighborhood, I saw this, I saw this sewing machine on the table of one of my neighbor's houses, and I thought, oh, we should be best friends. So of course, like any normal human being, I made a video. And then I thought, well, I'll go meet her. And I went over and left her a goodie bag, and I put my sewing machine in my front yard. I was like, maybe she'll see it like a beacon of hope and she'll come to me. And so eventually she did come to the shop. And so we haven't met because I wasn't there, but it's this idea that, well, you love that? We should be best friends. It's the C.S. Lewis. There's a thing in C.S. Lewis's books, The Four Loves, that talks about, what, you too?
Yeah.
And how that connection happens.
Yeah.
So that's where the shirt came from.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And you really do feel that vibe. And you feel it through the video, through the show in the morning. So again, if you tune in and like the Facebook page, and that way you'll get information. And plus, there's all kinds of deals all the time. You're always offering something or giving new suggestions or teaching something, or there's lots of things that happen with that. But let's get to the retreat center, which is right next door. Now, this is the best thing, because if you go to a retreat, I don't know how many of you have been to retreats before, but you never remember everything.
No.
Or somebody gives you an idea at your table and you want to go. Project Linus Conference is the same way.
We do the same
We go
thing.
and everybody's there, and you want to be able to make whatever so-and-so is making, but you don't have a car,
that's right.
maybe, or you're at the retreat. And so this is what's the best part of it, is that we're able to go next door and buy stuff. And
It is great.
Yeah, and so that is, hooked onto this particular thing. But the retreat center, you talked to me about it way back when, and you told me when they were naming it the barn, and I was so intrigued because of just the whole thought of what. So tell us about how that got going, because that's not.
It's like a community. I think it was a community thing.
Yeah.
She has a small classroom. Yeah. And so in the shop, and so we needed somewhere. We all, literally, there are groups and groups and groups of women who've come together. We all live in the same area, but we didn't know each other. And so now we get together, and we were like, Kourtney, we have to find some place to sew together.
Yeah.
And we tried 3 different places.
We
2
did.
different places fell through. You can always tell, like, when God's closing a door, and it was painful, because I had, we'd signed leases, we were ready to go. And this building wasn't available. And then it was available, but originally, we couldn't find a way to work together. And eventually they came to us. And when they came to us and said they wanted us to rent this space, I knew it was the time. We started with that little classroom, and this little classroom is like no bigger than a closet. And we could
It's like this room.
It's kind of like this room.
Yeah.
We could put 5 people in there to sew. And we literally pushed 100 people through those classes in that first year, plus volunteer day on Tuesdays. And those poor little old ladies would cram themselves in that room and sweat to death. It was awful. But they came. And so David and I were like, because it cost us about $40,000 to renovate this building, the area we use. And we said, I need a space that they can come for free on Tuesdays and sew. And I need a space where we can have community. And I need a space. And David's like, okay, Kourtney. And if David and I are in line, nothing is not accomplishable. And so we only actually remodeled half the building. And so that cost all that money. And so we've been able to really do it. And I will tell you, our volunteer day is my favorite day. This place is packed out with people, and we can comfortably sit 40 at a 6-foot table over there. We probably do 25 or 30 at volunteer day, depending, and they're like a little sweatshop. They move stuff along in there.
See, and then people get to know each other, but then extending it beyond that to the retreat idea. Just explain what a retreat is, because you've got one happening here. It's set up, so we'll just show the setup in a minute, but what's going on tomorrow?
So our retreats, so there's 2 kinds of retreats. Our retreat that we're doing here over the weekend it's an open sew type of retreat. So everybody gets a 6-foot table, and on the 6-foot table you bring your sewing machine, you bring a small iron. Usually we do have an ironing station if they want to use a bigger ironing station, and you bring maybe a small cutting mat. We have 2 large cutting stations, but you always want to bring a small one for yourself. And you just work on whatever projects you want. Most people pre-cut their projects just because they want to sit and shop or sit and sew. What I found is that people either come to just like bang out projects, or they come just to be social. And there's some people that are right in between. So a normal retreat, you come, you put your stuff down, you start sewing, you get fed lunch or dinner, however it's set up. We're not an overnight center. We can't have people spend the night. We have had people ask, and I've said no.
We just camp out.
No beds. They're like, we don't need to sleep. I'm like, no, thank you.
Oh, that's true. People would sew all night,
They
wouldn't
would,
they?
they
Yeah, there you go.
But
They
no.
do at Project Linus.
Yeah, they sure do. You could have a New Year's Eve party.
We
Can you
could.
imagine how fun that would be?
I'm a little nervous about that because my shoppers don't drive at night.
Oh,
but
they gotta stay till morning then.
They gotta stay all night long.
Courtney doesn't do world past 8 o'clock at
Oh,
night.
well,
Courtney
you
goes
could
to
have a
bed at
little
9.
cot or a little bed in the back.
But we do have a couch.
Come crawling out with a crease on your face and say, "How's everybody
Go back to
doing?"
bed. But so it's an open sew. And now some retreats are like a specific project based. Like you bring in a teacher. We brought in Dee. She's the Pixel Quilt lady, and it was a full day workshop retreat. And that was everybody working on the same project at the same time. And so those are kind of some different types of retreats. But ours are really low key. And what I love about our retreats is that, like, if I don't know how to do something, Patty will get up and walk across the room and show me how to do it. I watched Patty's table. It was hilarious. They decided all to make a bag. And so then they all sewed the bag and
You're
they learned to do the things.
definitely good at that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And it was actually posted in our group page. Maureen posted about how she now has a retreat buddy that she never knew before.
See?
And they've become best friends.
Yeah, so much fun. Okay, now people are always going to ask about cost.
Yeah.
I know that some retreats can be very expensive, probably because it includes lodging and whatever and meals and all. And then some are, you would actually call the retreat where they come for the volunteer days. That's kind of a retreat too, and then there's no cost to that.
Yeah.
So there's and then there's in between. So what would an average, would you say, just around here, it cost somebody if they came?
So our sew days are free for Project Linus, and that's really focused on Linus and some of our charities. Those are free. A basic sew day, like a stitch and mingle, at most of your quilt shops, stitch and mingles are usually, or they call them just a sew days usually, maybe $10 or $15. Right now ours are free just because we are trying to really encourage community, and that's what David and I wanted. It was what we put our money in here for.
And they bring their machines and things, right? Everybody brings their own supplies.
Yeah. A retreat, when I don't have a teacher, like I don't have a D or somebody else coming in, we charge about $125, which is really low cost.
Very
it's
low,
$75 a day, and we feed you, and we feed good. Judy's Barbecue caters the whole event. So we feed them. So because our goal is, again, community, we're covering our costs and things like that. But if you're going to an overnight place, it can be $300 or $400 because you're paying for that sleeping space. And there's some beautiful, if you're from our area, there are some beautiful retreat centers in Missouri is blessed. I mean, there's Brunswick, there's Arts Nest, there's so many really, really great ones that are overnight and focused on that. Ours is kind of nice for those people that don't want to leave and not sleep in their bed. I hear that a lot.
But I bet you have people, because you reach so many people, beginning to come from far away.
California.
No way.
Florida.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
And they stay at the hotel.
Yeah.
There's 2 hotels that are nice in town. Actually, they just hung a sign across the street, which is kind of funny. There's an Airbnb across the street from us.
Oh, I see
now it
the
is on the 3rd floor, so we did have that feedback last time that we stayed in it. But there are a couple Airbnbs in town, and I really do think that our community in Raymore, and I just want to shout from the rooftop how great it is to be in Raymore. City of Raymore loves us. They have been super supportive of our community, of our business. Jordan over there at the community group, she has really made it easy, and I do think they're talking a lot about, hey, there's a great opportunity to open an Airbnb over in this area because of our retreat center. But a normal retreat center, you do want to ask, something you should kind of ask before you go is, how much space do I have?
I wanted to bring that up, and I
Yeah.
will show you this. You give everybody a whole table.
A 6-foot table.
It is so roomy. You could put a cutting mat on one side, ironing station on the other, and you are all set up. It's beautiful. Plus the cord.
The electrical stuff's right on the top.
Oh, it's beautiful. So we'll show that in
And
a
Mary,
second.
we come with our wagons.
They do.
Really?
We have our wagons and we fill
Yeah.
them up and we shove them under the table.
See, and you've got
Yeah.
space to do
We have
that
space.
because
Well,
you
we have a
thing.
parking area for the wagons.
Oh, that's
for those
good.
Not
people.
for Patty.
Patty
Patty
keeps her
goes right
own
under the
wagon.
table.
But we
You
do
gotta
have a
keep
little
reaching.
parking nook for the wagons
Nice.
because people bring the wagons.
Patty has her own rules.
Oh, there's so many things.
She
Well,
does.
yeah. And, sometimes we just have to.
Right.
Okay, so just one last question before we take a look. We've answered pretty much everything I've had here just from talking, which is great. Do you have any memorable experiences, just anything that you can share that either when you first started out or your first retreat or just something that's really got you, excited about doing it again?
Well, the first retreat wasn't here. We actually leased a building in town. So there's a place in town that's like a community building. And we had it set up to have the entire space. And this is after the event at that space. I was like, I need a space. That's my space. Because we had to rent the tables. We had to set it all up.
Gee.
And we ended up, during that event, we had rented the whole space. Well, they came back and split the space, because there was a birthday party or something
Oh,
next
my
door.
goodness.
And the birthday party had a live band.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, people were dressed to the hilt. It was hilarious. So here you've got quilters over here, and we were crammed. We were so crammed in that space. It was, imagine a 6-foot table with like 2 people, and then people crammed in behind you. We crammed 50 people. It was
Oh, God.
hilarious. But everybody was wonderful, and they had such a good time. And midway through the day, the band started playing, and it was thumping. And we're not really thumping people, but we got up and all danced.
Oh, fun.
And it was the best. And I left that because I was in tears like for days leading up to it, because I was just like, this is going to be, it's not going to work. They're going to be unhappy. It's going to be awful. It's my first retreat.
Yeah.
And we got there, and I really felt like the community was like, Kourtney, we had so much fun. And people have talked about that retreat more than any other retreat. And that retreat had 50 people. When we did the big retreats, we had over 100 people at some of our big retreats. And now we do 40, and 40 is very manageable. But it showed me that this was more than just me selling you a product. This is about us as a community and a
Yes,
family.
exactly.
And somebody had brought up the other day how when you get in because our Facebook Live is in a group page, it's in a private group page, so you can't, it's just not public. And somebody brought up your group page is different. When people join our group page and they say, hi, it's me or whatever, underneath it people are like, welcome to the herd, and they're saying welcome, and you've come to the right place, you're cared about. I mean, it's all these wonderful things. And so when I think of our retreats in particular, because it's very much our community that comes together, there's this belief, embodiment of just encouragement and care. And so that first retreat showed me that I was probably putting too much pressure on myself to make it perfect.
We always do.
And it really didn't have to be, because they just wanted to be together, and I wanted them to be together, and they loved every minute of it. Now, I did sleep for 2 days after that, but
Kind of like retreat.
Right. She has a really cool thing that she did at this last retreat, and I just thought it was wonderful. She made coupons.
oh, the coupons were fun.
And you could do,
Tell
was
us
it one
about
an
it.
hour, or like you had,
Yeah.
each coupon you had to walk to the shop and come back. You couldn't use 2 coupons over there.
Until the last day, and I'm like, just use all your coupons.
Walk back and forth. But it
Which was
made it
good.
really fun.
Yeah.
It really did.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And everybody would be like, oh my goodness, it's 1 o'clock. We gotta go use our coupons.
The coupons were an accident
Oh, of course.
because the retreat gifts did not come in time for the retreat. And so that day I was like, I got to put something in their cup, because I give everybody a cup. The new cups are really cool, Patty. You're going to want, or you're coming, right?
I'm coming.
Okay, the new cups are really cool. Usually it's a cow cup. This one's a new cup.
Oh, fun.
I'm gonna be late, but I'll be here.
Yeah. That's
Well,
'cause
what's new?
I got into her schedule.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, well, wasn't this wonderful? Now you have an idea of what a quilting retreat really can and should be. And that's why I wanted to share this with you. I've had such good vibes every time I have either watched the podcast or watched the Facebook Live, or actually, when I watched you live, it just gives you such a good feeling. That's what retreats do. That's why everybody's always asking me, do you know of any retreats? I'm looking for a retreat. You can come with a group of friends,
Yeah.
you can come by yourself, and you are still welcome. and you will have a great and exciting time. So thank you all for watching. I am always trying to be joyful, but I will always be merry. So thanks everybody, and we'll take you on a little tour of the shop as well. Please click like, please click subscribe, and I'd love to show you more.